The notification stayed on my screen longer than it should have. Large transaction flagged for compliance review. Most people would have closed it. Clicked confirm. Moved on. I didn't. Because compliance flags don't appear without reason. And I knew exactly how those reviews worked, because I was the one who usually wrote them. I opened the transaction details again. Receiving account. Trust asset acquisition, real property. Not catering. Not floral. Not venue. Property. Again. I didn't cancel the transfer. That would have created noise. Instead, I exported the full transaction metadata. Timestamp. Routing numbers. Classification codes. Then I took screenshots. Saved them to an external drive. And for the first time in my life, I created a folder labeled with my family's name. Not memories. Evidence. The bank called the next morning. The number showed up as restricted. I answered anyway. Mr. Hale, the voice asked. Yes. This is Daniel from Risk Management. We're conducting a routine review regarding a series of high-value transfers. Routine. That word again. Yes, I said calmly. We just need to confirm the nature of the payments. Wedding expenses, I said. A pause. Paper shuffling. Some of the receiving accounts are registered under a trust structure connected to your family. I'm aware. Another pause. Longer this time. Were you informed your transfers would be reclassified as capital contributions? No. His tone shifted, subtle but unmistakable. Thank you, he said. That's helpful. Helpful. Not resolved. Not clarified. Helpful. Over the next week, small things started happening. Nothing dramatic. Nothing anyone else would notice. One vendor emailed saying payment processing was delayed pending verification. The venue requested updated documentation. The planner asked Elena if there had been changes to funding sources. Elena called me that night. Laughing. I think the bank's being overly cautious. I made my voice light. They do that with larger events. She relaxed instantly. Can you just resend the confirmation? Of course. Always cooperative. Always reliable. At Sunday dinner, my father made a joke about banks sticking their noses into family business. Everyone chuckled. I didn't. Because the way he said it wasn't annoyed. It was irritated. Like a plan had been inconvenienced. You're not telling them unnecessary details, are you? He asked casually. I shook my head. Just confirming transactions. His jaw tightened, barely. Elena changed the subject. Too quickly. 2 days later, I received an email from the bank's compliance division. Formal. Precise. They requested clarification of payment intent. Copies of any agreements. Written confirmation of expected reimbursement. Expected reimbursement. I stared at that line for a long time. Because I had nothing in writing. Nothing except text messages. Vague promises. Family assurances. Exactly how they'd kept everything deniable. I forwarded the email to my lawyer. He called within 15 minutes. Do not provide interpretation, he said. Just documentation. What happens if they find irregularities? They escalate. To who? He paused. Potentially regulators. I exhaled slowly. I hadn't intended to go that far. But I also wasn't stopping it. 3 days later, Elena showed up at my apartment unannounced. That had never happened before. She looked tired. Not dramatic. Just unsettled. Did you tell the bank this was a loan? She asked. No, I said honestly. I told them they were wedding expenses. She studied my face. Like she was trying to decide if I'd changed. They're asking weird questions, she said. About ownership structures. Ownership. Again. I'm sure it's procedural, I replied. She nodded. But didn't look convinced. This one wasn't optional. They requested I come in person. Same office. Different room. This time there were two people waiting. The manager I'd met before. And a man in a dark suit with a legal pad. Thank you for coming, he said. No small talk. No coffee. Just a stack of printed transaction logs. We've identified a pattern, he continued. Pattern. The most dangerous word in finance. Several transfers originated from your personal accounts and were redirected into a trust structure that subsequently acquired real property. I see. Were you aware, he asked carefully, that the property in question has already been retitled? Retitled. Past tense. Yes, I said. The locks were changed. The manager and the man exchanged a look. That look said, this is getting bigger. Did you authorize any reclassification of your funds into ownership contributions? No. Did you sign any agreements indicating forfeiture of access? No. He wrote something down. Slowly. Methodically. Then he said, we may need to temporarily restrict further transfers into the trust until the review is complete. Temporarily restrict. Translation. The pipeline was closing. That evening, my father called. Not casual. Not relaxed. Sharp. Why is the bank freezing disbursements? I kept my tone neutral. They said they're reviewing large transactions. You should have told them it was internal family restructuring. Internal. Family. Restructuring. All words that sound harmless. Until lawyers hear them. I answered their questions, I said. Silence. Heavy. Then. You're overcomplicating this. No, I replied quietly. I'm documenting it. Over the next week. The venue demanded cleared funds before confirming the date. The planner paused vendor bookings. The realtor removed the under contract sign from a secondary property tied to the trust. Nothing dramatic. No shouting. Just hesitation. Uncertainty. Elena stopped posting wedding updates online. My mother's texts became shorter. My father stopped making jokes. Late Friday afternoon, I received another message from compliance. Subject line. Expanded review notice. Inside. Due to inconsistencies between funding source, authorization records, and asset allocation, the trust accounts connected to recent transfers would undergo forensic audit procedures. Forensic. That word doesn't appear unless something is very wrong. Or about to be. Do nothing, he told me. Answer truthfully. Keep records. That's it? That's all you need. I sat with that. Years of being dismissed. Years of being managed. And now. The system itself was asking questions. Not because I fought. Because I documented. Sunday dinner was cancelled. No explanation. No reschedule. Just a group message. Busy this week. I drove past the old family property later that night. The new locks were still there. But the realtor sign had been removed. The house sat in the dark. Unclaimed. Waiting. I expected relief. Validation. Anger. Instead. Nothing. Just a quiet confirmation that the system was now doing exactly what it was designed to do. Ask questions where no one else had. I thought my father would call immediately. He didn't. No text. No voicemail. Silence stretched through the entire day. By evening, my mother finally messaged. Your father is dealing with some bank confusion. Please don't escalate things. Escalate. As if I had initiated anything. As if answering questions honestly was aggression. I replied with one sentence. I haven't contacted anyone. Which was true. 3 days later, Elena called. Not composed. Not confident. Panicked, but trying not to sound it. The venue needs confirmation by Friday, she said quickly. They're saying payments haven't cleared. They will, I said. Once the review is complete. Silence. Then. What review? I let the pause sit just long enough. The bank's compliance team is verifying the funding sources. That's ridiculous, she snapped. It's family money. Family money. The phrase landed differently now. Then it should be easy to verify, I said. She didn't respond. The planner emailed the entire group. Due to pending financial verification, we are placing all vendor timelines on hold. Professional. Polite. Visible. Elena stopped replying in the group thread. Within 48 hours. The florist released the reserved date. The photographer requested a new deposit. The caterer flagged the contract as inactive. No drama. Just business. My aunt called me. Casual voice. Too casual. Is everything okay with the wedding funding? That's how information moves in families. Quietly. Sideways. Ask Dad, I said. Another pause. Oh, she replied. We thought you were handling it. Of course they did. That had always been the narrative. Reliable. Responsible. Available. This one went to my parents' house. I know because my mother forwarded me a photo. The envelope was thicker. From the same division. No message attached. Just. What is this about? I didn't answer immediately. An hour later she called. Your father says the bank is requesting documentation he already provided. What kind of documentation? Authorization forms. I thought of the digital signature I had never signed. I'm sure they just need clarification, I said. Neutral. Always neutral. This time she didn't knock. She used the spare key she'd had since college. I was at the kitchen table reviewing spreadsheets. She looked exhausted. Hair tied back. No makeup. Are you trying to ruin this? She asked quietly. No. Then why won't you just tell them it was a gift? Because it wasn't. Because categorizing it that way would legitimize everything that followed. Because they asked for documentation, I said. That's it? That's it. She stared at me like she was seeing someone new. Or maybe someone she had never bothered to see clearly before. You don't even like weddings, she said. It wasn't an insult. It was confusion. No, I replied. But I paid for yours. Her eyes flicked away. That's not fair. Neither is being removed from an account without notice. Silence. Heavy. Uncomfortable. She left without another word. A week later, my attorney called. They've escalated beyond internal review, he said. To who? External audit consultants. What does that mean? It means they're reconstructing the full transaction history. Every transfer. Every authorization change. Every classification. We didn't see the contents directly. But we saw the effect. He finally called. His voice was controlled but tight. They're asking for records going back 6 months. That sounds standard, I said. You could resolve this with one statement. What statement? That the money was intended as a family contribution. Contribution. Another carefully selected word. I've already provided accurate information. Silence. Then. You're being difficult again. There it was. The old label. The one that used to work. It didn't land the same anymore. Within days, the trust's secondary property listing disappeared entirely. The realtor stopped responding to my father's emails. The wedding website went offline. Elena's social media went quiet. No updates. No countdown posts. No venue photos. Just absence. At a small family gathering I wasn't invited to, someone mentioned the wedding might be postponed. I heard about it through a cousin. Not gossip. Concern. Your dad seems stressed, she told me. I hope everything's okay financially. Financially. The one area my father had always used to define authority. Stability. Control. Now. Publicly uncertain. 2 representatives requested another conversation. This time, it was brief. Direct. We've confirmed inconsistencies between the authorization records and the originating account holder's statements. Inconsistencies? I asked. Yes. They didn't elaborate. They didn't need to. Then came the next step. Until resolution, the trust's ability to leverage assets is suspended. Leverage. Meaning. No loans. No collateralization. No rapid restructuring. The entire mechanism? Paused. 3 days later, Elena texted me. We lost the venue. No anger. Just a statement. Followed by. They released the date. Months of planning. Gone. Not because of a fight. Because paperwork didn't clear. For the first time in weeks. My parents asked me over. No group message. A direct call. My father sounded older than I remembered. We should talk, he said. I agreed. Same dining room. Same chairs. But the energy was different. My mother didn't pour wine. Elena didn't speak first. My father had a folder in front of him. Paper. Printed. Visible. We need to resolve this privately, he said. Resolve what? The bank's concerns. I waited. He slid a document across the table. An acknowledgement statement. If signed, it would confirm all prior transfers were voluntary family contributions. No repayment expectation. No ownership implication. Clean. Simple. Retroactive. My mother watched me carefully. Elena didn't look up. My father said quietly. This will end the review. I read every line. Slowly. Then I closed the folder. I'm not signing anything inaccurate. No raised voice. No accusation. Just fact. My father leaned back. For the first time. He looked uncertain. Not angry. Not dominant. Uncertain. Then this continues, he said. Yes, I replied. It does. 2 days later. The bank issued a formal notice. Temporary administrative control of the trust would be transferred to an independent fiduciary pending investigation. My father was no longer in charge.